Is Melissa McDonald, and my husband and I have been working in Kyrgyzstan, which is in Central Asia, for the last 10 years. And several years ago, we came to realize that we weren't going to get any further in our ministry unless we were able to do spiritual warfare. What our ministry is we develop students. We're raising them up and releasing them in their spiritual gifts. And we came, hard into this spiritual warfare. And at that point, we realized God was telling us, we had to war in the spirit. We didn't know ourselves. We didn't have a lot of training on it. So what I had remembered was actually some teachings from Keith Martin's that, years back in my training that I had gotten. So I was able to look at resources online that Kingdom Ministries had, and pull off of there subjects like the authority of the believer and interactive prayer with the Holy Spirit, and through those teachings we were able to implement them into our intercessory prayer, into doing spiritual warfare that made our ministry more effective. And this is a continuing process as we continue to use those resources, and we want to even see it used even more. When you guys came to the house the other day to pray, and I asked for prayer against this assignment of rejection in my life. I asked for prayer against this assignment of rejection, and you guys were praying for me. The thought came to my mind during that time that with Isaac, our son, who was autistic, when I was breastfeeding him, that there was a girl who was coming constantly to our house at that time, and she was a devout Muslim, and I know she was doing her prayers at our house when she would come to, and we were kind of in the stage of not knowing, okay, what do we allow in our home, what do we not, and so it was a week or so of this process. But she would always come into the room and sit right beside me when I'd be feeding Isaac. And then later on, she came back to the house, and she came crying, and she said, "I'm sorry for what I did. I put a curse on you." And so when we were praying, the thought came back to my mind that the possibility of that she put a curse on Isaac, which resulted in autism, and this going with the spirit of rejection, in a way almost that he's rejecting me and us as his parents. He's at that distance. And so that night we, were praying through it, laying hands on him, and,